Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise today for the very first time in this chamber as a servant of Pennsylvania's 8th District, the good people of Bucks and Montgomery counties serving as their independent voice. And the weight of this responsibility should not be lost on any of us. And it is my sincere hope that each one of us here, regardless of where we come from, what our past experiences have been, or how long we've been here, will do what the American people are demanding of us at this time. Work together as problem solvers, not work against each other as ideologues. Our founders envisioned citizen legislators, chosen from their peers to work on their behalf, to serve honorably, with a focus on solutions, and then return home and live under the laws they helped pass, making way for a new generation of leadership with new ideas and a fresh perspective. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, we as a nation have strayed from that vision. Today, too many Americans feel left out. They see a system that does more to preserve the status quo than it does solving our most pressing challenges. They see a class of career politicians and elite insiders. I wish I could tell my constituents, my bosses, that this problem is exaggerated, that this mess in Washington doesn't affect them or their families or their businesses. But as a former anti-corruption FBI special agent, I've seen the brokenness in our system. And I know the real-life impact that it has, which is both soft and hard corruption that tilts the legislative agenda towards special interest. Electoral complacency that causes lawmakers to focus on accumulating power rather than serving their constituents. And an entrenched partisanship that grinds the gears of government to a halt. Mr. Speaker, this does not have to be the fate of this Congress. It does not. The 115th Congress is remembered as the one that buried party labels for good and focused on fixing the system. To that end, I've introduced legislative proposals to begin that process. A constitutional amendment enacting term limits for all members of Congress. A constitutional amendment preventing members of Congress from being paid unless a budget is passed. This is not just withholding pay for a period of time. This is complete forfeiture. A balanced budget amendment so we are forced to stop kicking the can down the road, and we will create a fiscal path that will allow the next generation to thrive. And a bill I call the Citizen Legislature Anti-Corruption Reform Act, the Clean Bill. An act that includes language to end congressional pensions for life, require this body to debate and act on single-issue legislation, codify that all laws passed by Congress apply to all of its members, and reform the broken gerrymandering process by moving all redistricting to independent, nonpartisan citizen commissions, and to expand access to political party primaries to include both independents and non-affiliated voters. Is there anyone in this chamber who does not believe that these measures will make our country a better place? Is there anyone in this chamber that does not believe that these measures will result in a healthier democracy, a system of government where people had more faith and trust in? Is there anyone here who believes that more citizens serving in this body, more citizens participating in their government would not be a breath of fresh air for our nation? If you agree with these ideas, I urge you to join me, co-sponsor these measures, join the Congressional Citizen Legislature Caucus, and advocate for these reforms. Share your vision with your constituents, because they need to know that our nation is not resigned to the status quo. Mr. Speaker, Washington needs fewer politicians and more independent voices focused on serving the American people. That's the reason we're here. Let's not let them down. The time is now to answer their call to fix this system so we can start addressing the challenges that we face as a nation. Speaker, I yield back.
Gentleman yield.